Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived on the edge of a forest with her mother and father. She was a sweet little girl who was adored by everyone. But her grandmother, who lived in the middle of the forest, loved her the most. For her birthday, the grandmother gave the little girl a special red cape. The girl loved her cape so much that she wore it every day. So much so that the people started calling her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, the grandmother fell ill, and the Little Red Riding Hood was asked to take her some freshly baked cakes to cheer her up. Before she left, her mother reminded her to be careful when crossing the forest and not to talk to any strangers. Little Red Riding Hood agreed and left for her grandmother's house. On the way through the forest, Little Red Riding Hood found some beautiful wild flowers to pick for her grandmother. As she carried on down the path with a basket full of flowers, a cunning wolf crept from the bushes. "Where are you going?" asked the wolf, licking his lips. Little Red Riding Hood knew she was not talk to strangers, but couldn't help telling the wolf all about her sick grandmother. After hearing the story, the cunning wolf persuaded Little Red Riding Hood to collect some more flowers. As he slunk off into the forest in search of the grandmother's house. Once he had found it, the wolf knocked at the door, pretending to be Little Red Riding Hood. And when he was finally let inside the house, he ate the poor grandmother up in one go. When Little Red Riding Hood came in, she saw what she thought was her grandmother in bed. Although something didn't feel right. "What big ears you have, grandmother," Little Red Riding Hood said. "All the better to hear you with," the wolf replied. "Grandmother, what big eyes you have," the girl exclaimed. "All the better to see you with," was the reply. "What big teeth you have," Little Red Riding Hood squealed. "All the better to eat you up with," growled the wolf, leaping out of the bed. Just at that moment, Little Red Riding Hood's father was passing close to the cottage and heard the commotion. He rushed in, grabbed the wolf by the tail, and made him spit out the poor grandmother, who was a little startled. After the father had chased the wolf deep into the forest, the family shared the delicious cakes And Little Red Riding Hood promised never to speak to strangers again. The end.